I'm out here in King George on this hot and very humid day, and kind of in the southeast section of the county, just off Route 3, just to the east of 301, which is on the other side of that building. And I'm at the ruins of Office Hall, and it's an old plantation. It was the residence of a guy named Extra Billy Smith, and he was two-time Virginia governor, Civil War general, and just a pretty interesting character. Lived a pretty colorful life. And yeah, I'd driven by these places several times. I always wondered what they were, so I went ahead and did some research. Thought it'd be cool to come check them out. I didn't realize it was going to be this overgrown. I don't know if you can tell, a lot of these are briars, so I'm not going to be able to walk around too much. Probably have to throw up a lot of B-roll. I'll definitely be flying my drone. But yeah, I thought it'd be neat to come check these out. And all that's left is this kitchen to the left, smokehouse to the right. And this kitchen was originally 2 stories, which was pretty rare for the time. And the smokehouse was pretty nice. Originally a hipped roof on top, and now there are trees growing out of it. And yeah, these were actually moved here from their original location, and it's said to help better preserve them, actually. And I don't know the original location. I'm a few miles north of the Rappahannock, down that way, and a couple miles south of the Potomac. And yeah, so I'm going to assume it was up on a hill along one of the rivers. And yeah, so this guy, Billy Extra Billy, lived here and grew up, of course, in a prominent family. Went to private schools, went to a private school in Fredericksburg. Ended up getting a law degree, and he moved to Culpeper to open a practice law out there for about 10 years. And for whatever reason, stopped practicing law, and then he opened a stagecoach line, and which was also used as a passenger, which was also used as a carrier line for the post office. And try to do a little bit of walking around. Yeah, so the line originally ran from D.C. to the western part of the state, and it eventually began expanding south, moved down through the Carolinas, eventually led into Georgia. And as it was built south, he kept on adding spurs off to the side and charging extra fees that would go back to him. Might be able to walk up there a little bit. And yeah, that's where he got the name Extra Billy. So yeah, so he did that for a number of years, ended up moving to Warrenton for a little while. And yeah, like I say, these are briars. All right, and yeah, so he did that for a number of years, and then in 1849, oh no, I should tell you, I'm sorry. So let's see if I get in here. After the stagecoach line, he entered a career in politics and became served a term in Congress, and then was elected. Let's see if I can bust through here. It feels good in here. He was all right. I think I'm going to hide in here for a minute. Eventually elected Virginia governor. That was in the 1840s. And he's most noted during his first term as bringing public education to Virginia. And he passed legislation allowing counties to build schools that were funded by the state. So served a term as governor, and then he packed up 1849 and he moved to California, moved to San Francisco, and during the gold rush, and moved out there, became very successful. He went back to practicing law out there. He invested in some businesses that profited from the gold rush, and also made some money in real estate. So an interesting note about his time out there is that one of his sons was on a trading expedition to China, and he got lost at sea in the Sandwich Islands, which became Hawaii. And so he chartered a ship, took a crew of people out there to search for his son, but didn't some sort of rabbit hole or something down there, foxhole, I don't know. But yeah, and he didn't find his son. So yeah, pretty sad. And then so he was only in California for a few years, and then he ended up moving back to Virginia in 1852 and went back to politics, and he served 3 terms in Congress. And yeah, a lot of briars right through there. Let me find open ground. Yeah, another note, after he moved back to Virginia, he had another son that died. He died in Nicaragua, actually. And he was down there looking at land, and I don't know the details, but yeah, 2 sons that passed away kind of overseas, I guess. Yeah, so he moved back to Virginia, served 3 terms in Congress, and then the Civil War broke out, and he dropped everything, became a general, brigadier general, and saw a lot of action. Both of the Manassas campaigns. Oh, there's a cool looking vulture. Yeah, both of the battles of Manassas, the Peninsula Campaign. Saw action in Chancellorsville, Gettysburg. I know he was injured a few times. And I read mixed reviews about him as a general. I've heard he did a good job, but I've also told that he was kind of dragged along because of his prestige of being a former governor. But he was also known as an eccentric character, an eccentric general. He was known for having a disdain for the West Point generals. And he also wore a large fur hat and a bright blue uniform. So, yeah, like I say, interesting guy. And so that was the last time he saw action, was after Gettysburg, because he was elected Virginia governor again, this time to the Confederate States of America. So elected 1863, his term began January of 64, which was the backside of the Civil War. It was kind of as it was winding down, and he spent most of his time as governor at that point just working with the Confederate Army, just pretty much trying to protect Richmond. And yeah, so yeah, after the war, he actually went on the run, became a fugitive, and he was caught, he was paroled, and nothing ended up happening to him. So yeah, so after the war, he moved back up to Warrenton. He did become a Virginia delegate, and then he spent the rest of his time just living on a farm up there, and he made it, he lived to 90 years old. And if you're ever in Warrenton, you could visit a place called the California House. That's where he used to live out there. So yeah, I apologize, kind of a short one today. I was hoping it would end up being a little bit more than what it was, but anyway, so saw some interesting ruins, I guess. But also let you know, I do have a big one coming up next week. I'm going to Jamestown, so yeah, that should be pretty cool. Anyway, so I'll see ya.